Alright, here we are with game 4 of Gordian and Veldi. Veldi with the mech boy, and Gordian, having to switch to a different race now that he's used all 3 Chaos Heroes, is going with the Force Commander. So this was actually, I just looked it up here, this is actually the semi-final in the winners bracket in Division B. So, yes. The bracket got kind of weird because King K got disqualified for probably being a Smurf. Technically unconfirmed, but kind of confirmed. So getting that VP lead with the mech boy like he does. Gonna be able to get this middle VP secured. Gonna be able to go harass these scouts. Force Commander is gonna go over here and cap. Gonna be annoying for these shooters. Yada yada yada. Pretty standard opening. Gordian not getting this node right away. So I wonder if we're going to see a 2-tack opening or if that's just a mistake on his part. To be honest, I never see him play anything over in Chaos, so this is probably outside his comfort zone a little bit, although Space Marine is probably more in his comfort zone than, say, Imperial Guard. But, yeah. I wonder if we're going to see a 2nd tack opening. It does look like that. Double tack openings, yeah, that's what he is going for, okay. They have potential. But I think with the way Storm Boys are much cheaper in Elite these days compared to retail, I think it becomes a lot less effective than it used to be. Because Storm Boys used to be like, I think 440 or something like that, whereas now they're 350-30, quite a bit cheaper, quite a bit more cost effective, especially with like a battery pack or something. They come out so much quicker that it's hard to get much value out of the double tack. And these days players are really good about skipping these upgrades for getting that tier 1.5 squad out quicker. Whereas back in the day, they used to always just get these upgrades brainlessly first thing. So it's interesting seeing how it's kind of flipped on its head to kind of more of a style I was playing back then. One isn't necessarily better than the other, but you kind of have to play around them either way. So we're going to see Storm Boys from Veldi. It's going to definitely hard counter this. What you can kind of get away with against Storm Boys if you go for a Force Commander is you can get the battle cry with probably one shotguns, maybe even a power sword, and that can be pretty scary for the Storm Boys to engage the attacks under. You can also just get a heavy bolter or something, and then that kind of forces the Storm Boys to do something else. Mech Boy just being annoying, decapping the VP, decapping his rec point, getting a bit of economical advantage, using this tack squad to go get this power point. That's everything you can do against Storm Boys, is just kind of split up your army like this and try and get map control that way. Mech Boy is going to be forced off here. Consolidation in the middle. Still no big shooters, still no shooter knobs, still no burners. Burners and Bisp would be another good follow-up here. Mech Boy being forced off before an engagement, so we might be able to see Gordian pull someone out here. He's floating requisition, not really getting his power up, or getting up slow. So could see an Assault Marine squad for kind of a fairly heavy tier 1, forcing off the Slugger squad. Shooters are going to bash this power node. Tack squad just running up here to decap stuff. Storm Boys jumping on this tack squad, but they're going to be able to walk away from that mostly unscathed. Big shoot up for the first squad, big shoot up for the second squad, so needed to retreat a bit sooner. That special is going to cause these attacks to probably lose a model, maybe 2 here. Battlecry here would be really good. Okay, Battlecry doesn't knock them down because they actually have knockdown immunity when they jump. That's another change that Elite added that's a big dum-dum if you ask me. So they do have like this knockdown immunity for a few seconds after jumping, which does mean that you can't disrupt them, but they are going to get forced off pretty fast by Battlecry and the Shotgun Scouts. Taking a fair amount of bleed here, and the Shooter Squads are going to be forced off as well. So, not the worst situation for Gordian here. Gonna get this middle VP, gonna be able to get this requisition point. Mech Boy's just gonna cap the whole game. So, on the one hand, that's annoying. On the other hand, he's not gonna be supporting the army. And as I always say, your hero is your most important unit. You should not really be capping with them. There's a situation for this kind of teleport capping annoyance. And he did actually get the Assault Marine squad. Okay, so yeah, Gordian is committing to this kind of heavy upkeep tier 1. So the big risk of this is, of course, if the Mech Boy keeps decapping all these rec points, he's going to have a ton of upkeep. He doesn't want to take any engagements where he loses lots of models, and that could very easily happen with Storm Boys. So depending on how Gordian plays it, he could either be economically crippled or not. Mech Boy is being forced to not actually manage to get anything done and just waste all his energy, so that is very good. Otherwise, we don't have any burners yet from the Sluggas. It's just 2 big shooters and the Storm Boy. Mech Boy's gonna get forced off here. I think using the shotgun blast on the Mech Boy was a mistake. And there's the shooter knob, so big investment on the shooters that he didn't really need. Scout's gonna get forced off though. And I think even with Battlecry, this Tac Squad and Force Commander are gonna get forced off here. Submarines do get in here a little too late though. And the Tac Squad is gonna have to retreat here. So this is gonna be a lot of wreck bleed for Gordian's economy to absorb. Hopefully it's just one TAC model and not some Assault Marine models. Doing a very good job with the Tac Squad actually capturing both these wreck points. Oh, that jump was not the best. He needs to go home. And his Tac Squad, yeah, the Tac Squad should just go over here or stay up here, anywhere but really in the Storm Boy path. So that wasn't terrible. He did manage to get these wreck points, so for now at least he is boosted his wreck income so he can absorb a bit more of the losses. Veldi is floating a little bit here with the wreck. He has 500 wreck, so what that says is he's not really buying enough. Gordian can go tier 2 right now as well, so pretty even tech wise, even ahead of Veldi tech, even though he went for a very delayed power. I think if Gordian had skipped those shooter knobs, he could have been tier 2, or well on his way to tier 2 anyway. Kind of a unnecessary retreat there. So Veldi's going to spend some time recapturing those wreck points. No war gear for the Force Commander, not healed up to full HP in the base either. Scout's not healed up, I don't think. Quite all the way either. It's something I used to do a lot that I try to be more conscious of, is just leave your units in the base a little bit longer, top up their health a bit more. Because there's not a whole lot of healing out on the map for most races, unless you're the Apothecary. So you generally want to make sure that you heal, especially your heroes. You want your hero to be at 100% health, not 60% health. It just makes them a lot more effective. You only really want to leave your base early if you really need to. And if you do, and you force a retreat, it's better to retreat your guys, go heal, than go cap with them, I think, in most situations. So tier 2 here, I think we're going to see a Razorback from Gordian, which will be somewhat annoying for these Storm Boys to deal with. He does have the threat of the Beamy Luda or the Mech Boy Mine, so he's going for the Def Gun though, which is an odd choice. Like, it's not the worst, it's just odd. I don't think that's going to be very impactful. And I think he's queued up a War Truck probably. Maybe a Def Dread, I don't know if he can afford a Def Dread though. Force Commander going to get forced off, taking bonus damage while he's capping, I believe. I think that's still a thing. So you don't really want to cap under fire, but sometimes you can't avoid it. Taking a ton of damage on these Assault Marines, they're going to have to run home. I don't know if he's used for the Emperor at all in this game. Force Commander getting one sort of special off. Force Commander might actually die here, and he did get the Thunder Hammer on the Force Commander too. So losing the Force Commander right after the Thunder Hammer, not going to get the Storm Boys. Might lose the Assault Marines to the Sluggas actually. I think both the Storm Boys and the Assault Marines are just going to barely escape here. Tacs are going to have to go. Quite frankly, should have just already left because they're going to bleed a ton. And Razorback's coming up. I think what you need to do instead of Razorback is you just replace the Force Commander and drop a drop pod in your base. I think that's what you do. I think that's more economical than getting the Razorback out. Scouts just running in here just to what? Do what? What are they going to accomplish here? They're just going to be forced to retreat. Just force melee. Just force melee. Go punch them. Go punch them. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. And Mech Boy, I don't know what you're trying to do here, bud, but that's not useful. The Mech Boy with the Def Gun can be a little scary on this map because he can kind of lock you in the base, but the Mech Boy suppression is pretty mediocre, and then you got Assault Marines. Like, yeah, I get the idea behind this. I just don't think it's really worth doing. And Assault Marines jumping on the shooters. Mech Boy is going to suppress this Tac Squad, but here comes the Razorback to go pew 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 pew. Razorback does a lot of damage. So, yeah, that wasn't the best warrior choice. We do got the Storm Boy knob up, Slugga knob, pretty usual, standard stuff. Getting Tank Busters? Yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, Tank Busters are probably a good choice. But I don't know if it's the most impactful. And I think the Razorback can just kind of shrug off tank buses. Just by staying out of their range, doing the range damage to the Storm Boys, etc. Gordian is starved for requisition now. He's got so much upkeep from this double tack squad. This is where you have to be really careful. Like if you have those engagements where you lose 2 models of Assault Marines, 2 models of attacks, you lose your hero. You really need to take advantage of the hero drop pod. It's one of the biggest buffs SM got in Elite mod. Being able to call a drop pod, reinforce your stuff for free, is very useful in situations like that. And by not using that, you are very starved for requisition. So we got something upgraded, not sure what it is. Probably a Assault Marine Sergeant, if I had to guess. Force Commander coming back, okay. Thunderhammer is going to be pretty scary for the Storm Boys now. They can't really engage. And this is kind of situation where you probably don't want to invest in a Storm Boy knob against Tier 2 SM. I just don't think it's going to be that useful. Tank Bust is doing pretty good though. Scaring off the Razorback. And we do got a custom force field on the mech. Okay, sure. Attack squad being forced back here. Maybe using a drop pod. A drop pod would be good. The Assault Marines is taking a ton of free damage. Force Commander is going to kill the mech boy here. One more swing. Yep. Force Commander gets level 2. That becomes pretty scary as well. Storm Boys are still only level 1. Slug is still only level 1. Once Force Commander... Can I wait for the teleporter pack? That's a good choice against all these shooters, I think. I would like to see the Razorback Smoke Bomb get used here, too. Barrage coming down might actually... Attack squad's taking a ton of models. Gonna have to retreat. Not retreating, not retreating. Yeah, I think he still wanted to drop pod in the situation. This way you delay this reinforcement and you use the drop pod. And the Force Commander is in the Razorback, I believe. Nope. Okay, never mind. I think, yeah, you definitely want the drop pod. You want to go heal your attack squads up. The attack Sarge could be a good idea here because not only does that increase their damage by 33%, a little bit more than that actually, but it also increases their health by like a lot, and it gives them, and they show no fear, so all these shooters just doing damage to them is going to charge that up pretty quick, and then that lets you win an engagement later on once that's all charged up. So far I think the game has been pretty even. Map is split down the middle. I think Gordian's been winning the engagements a bit better, but Veldi has a bit better economy because Gordian is so starved for requisition because of the second tack. You can see his income's plus 234. Veldi's is lower, but Veldi has, you know, 5 squads with squad leaders and fully upgraded business, whereas these tacks don't have anything. Teleporter pack is... I don't know if I like that choice. I think you just go for the Iron Halo, or actually Secret Standard is what I would go for in this situation, because that just boosts the damage of all your units here. Scout's gonna die here. Oof, that's a big loss for Gordian. Assault Marines do have their Sergeant now, but yeah, they can't really... The Storm Boys are getting too much momentum here. Force Commander going after the Tank Bust of all things. You really needed the Tank Bust, or the Force Commander on these Storm Boys, on these Slugganobs, and I think that is game. Gordian's gonna lose attack squad here. The Razorback is pushed off the map. He can't repair it. Force Commander barely gets away here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the game here. I think Veldi takes this map control here. Everything he could have got, I think, is the Mech Boy Mines. Not only are those good against the Razorback, those are pretty annoying for the Tax to navigate. He would have been forced into a Scout Sergeant he didn't really want to get. Going for tier 3 is Veldi. That's a good choice when you win that kind of engagement and you kill those units. Doesn't know what he wants to do here with this generator though. You tech up when you don't really need a tier 2 unit, and then you get a looted tank or something that they really can't deal with. Force Commander leaving the base at 200 health. He's just going to get forced to retreat in 2 nanoseconds. As you can see here. Mech Boy kind of almost blended in because he doesn't show the UI. Kind of a bug with the replay viewer when he dies. Using the bubble, the custom force field, just to let the Mech Boy tank a bit more. The custom force field is cool because it does the knockback on stuff that touches it. Would like to see that more. Again, big force retreat here. Might actually kill some more models. Might be able to kill the Razorback. Razorback down to 1 more hit, I think. We'll polish it off. Doesn't need to worry about it. Gordian going for a Dreadnought. That is probably the best thing he can get in the situation. That's where, if Veldi had just invested in tier 2 and got like a Death Dread, he might be in trouble. But because he's tier 3, he's going to get a looted tank. He doesn't have to care about a silly little dreadnought. And doing a good job of getting the map control instead of just focusing way too much stuff over here. He called the boys would be really good in this situation. He doesn't have the money for it right this second, but if he would have used it before, he'd be in a really good spot. Force Commander up to full health, much scarier now. Gonna do some good specials. The Thunderhammer Battlecry is really good, but it does have a lot of reduced. It does do reduced damage over, say, Battlecry with the Power Sword, so that's something to keep in mind. It does have a larger AoE, it does more knockback, all that business, but it does actually have a special exclusive to it. It does do less knockback, or less damage. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Veldi just stuck around a bit too long with some of this stuff. Using the Shuda, maybe the spot for the Dreadnought. I don't know. He does put, I forget what it's called. Some DACA button, probably. I think that boosts range damage. I think he canceled the Luda tank and rebuilt it, which is a bit of a mistake. I think you need to commit to those kind of tech choices. Not that I don't think Gordian really has a chance of getting back into this, even if he got, melted bombs, melted gun, or whatever. I don't think he's too low health. He can't repair this Razorback, can't repair this Dreadnought, and he's just so requisition starved. Especially now that Veldi decapped these over here. And Veldi just got a ton of requisition to replace all his bleed, so that's something. So I think Veldi has won the game. Oh, I think actually Gordian conceded there. So yeah, that is game 4. A win for Veldi. So now we're tied 2-2 with a final game coming up soon. Thanks for watching.